Teşekkürler Yekta Bey. Değerli Brand Week katılımcıları, hepinize merhabalar. Gönül isterdi ki bu buluşmayı yüz yüze bir konferans ortamında yapalım. Ama pandemiden dolayı virtual bir şekilde yapıyoruz. Umarım önümüzdeki senelerde tekrardan daha sıcak bir ortamda aynı odada buluşarak bu buluşmayı yapma imkanı buluruz. Pelin Hanım'a ve ekibine teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Bu sene gerçekten çok heyecan veren ve ilham veren bir konuyla geldiler. Çizginin dışındakiler. Biz de bugün kendi alanında çizgisinin dışında olan 3 kişiyle sohbet etme imkanı bulacağız. Biliyorsunuz Shell inovasyona büyük yatırım yapan şirketlerden biri ve bu inovasyon ortaklıklarımız içinde aslında bize en çok keyif verenlerden biri tabii ki Ferrari ile 70 yıldır süre gelen inovasyon ortaklığı. Bu ortaklıkta hem Ferrari'ye yarışlarında destek vermek fakat aynı zamanda burada aldığımız öğrenimleri, kazanımları bizim yollardaki müşterilerimize sağlayabilmek ve oradaki gelişimi görebilmek ve ona katkı sağlayabilmek gerçekten bize çok heyecan veriyor. Ve bu yolculuğun içindeki 3 önemli isim bugün bizimle birlikte burada. Scuderia Ferrari Formula 1 pilotu Charles Leclerc, Scuderia Ferrari Formula 1 takımı teknik direktörü Mattia Binotto ve Shell Motorsport yöneticisi Valeria Loreti. Onlara sizin adınıza ve kendi adıma hoş geldiniz demek istiyorum. Teşekkürler. Hi Charles, Mattia and Valeria. I'm delighted to welcome you to the Brand Week in Istanbul. This year's theme is Outliers. I'm sure you're no short of that, all three of you. Outliers are like sort of people who are not afraid to use innovation and passion to drive them forward. So I'll start with Charles. So Charles, it's your first time racing in Turkey. And can you tell us a bit more how you're feeling about coming to this track and racing in Istanbul for Ferrari?
Hello. Well, I don't know the track yet. I've only seen Grand Prix on TV, and the track looks very, very nice. So I think it's always exciting for drivers to discover new tracks, and it definitely is very. I am definitely very exciting to come to Turkey to discover that new track.
Okay, excellent. You're racing for one of the most iconic brands at the age of 23, and I know this season has been really unique for you because we caught a glimpse of your sim racing talents in the virtual race series, something you and the young drivers have embraced. So what does it mean to you to be a racing driver in Formula One at this age?
Well, it's now my third year in Formula One, second year with Ferrari, and I definitely don't get used to being a Ferrari driver. It always feels absolutely amazing. As you said, I've done quite a bit of sim racing during the lockdown at the beginning of the year, which was nice to stay trained for the beginning of the season once everything was over. And it helped me to stay train and to be ready for the start of the season. So that was important, and it feels absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm living my dream of being a Formula One driver. That's all I've dreamed for since being a child, and to be in this position so early on in my career feels great, and it's a huge honor for me to be driving for such a team.
Mattia, we'll carry on with you. So Mattia, Scuderia Ferrari is a thing of passion, and having been part of this team since mid-90s, how does the passion associated with the team motivate you in your role?
Passion is important, no doubt. Passion's giving a lot of boost, I would say, to each single individual of the Scuderia Ferrari. But I think at the end it's not only a matter of passion. I think it's even more than that. I think that Ferrari somehow is very unique. Ferrari with got their own value, we've got our own values. I think it's about #SRFerrari, so being Ferrari, I think we've got a clear identity compared to the other brands and the other teams in F1. And I think what's really boosting us, it's certainly the passion, but somehow of being Ferrari, so being a special, let me say, a special Scuderia, and we feel that responsibility. So it's not only the simple passion of being in F1, but it's the passion being part of Scuderia Ferrari. As I said, with clear values, and our values are certainly racing, innovating. It's all the challenge of about Ferrari is competing it's team spirit, it's family spirit. It's all about what's really our long-standing, I would say, history of Ferrari.
So, Valeria, Formula One is the pinnacle of motor racing, where a small innovation can bring a big difference, a big advantage as well. Having been innovation partner to Scuderia Ferrari for 70 years, how important is it to continue to push the boundaries with original ideas and innovation?
Well, I would say we should never stop pushing. As a passionate fan, but also as a scientist, as an innovator, I think trying to exceed the limits and always try to find something new is really my mission. So searching for innovation, improvement, and developing new racing fuels, racing oils for our partner in Scuderia Ferrari is really what drives our team of talents and scientists. And we have been constantly innovating to keep providing them with the most efficient and reliable products that we can. We have been developing over the last couple of years, as an example, a new digital tool that helps us simulating fuels formulations, and therefore we can predict their properties before having to measure them inside the engine. That helps because we can simulate up to 100,000 fuels formulation in a year, and from this huge amount of formulations we can just pick the best, and this small amount of fuels will be tested then in the power unit. That helps us also complying with the new regulations that put quite strong limits in time of testing that is available before the racing.
Thank you, Valeria. So, Mattia, innovation is a big part of the relationship that Shell has with Ferrari. Could you tell us about the role Shell plays as an innovation partner to Scuderia Ferrari, sort of behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's certainly a key role. As I said, it's a long time that we are partnership. It's very, really long time. And I think that the challenge we had looking at the past are not only the ones we got just today. So it has been before aspirated engines. It has been a very short life at the time. So an engine was just lasting a race. Now we've got certainly more complex power unit. We've got only 3 engines per driver per season. So let's say that the exercise are completely changed since the time we've got now fuel flow limited, so very lean mixture. And I think having a partner like Shell just next to us in developing continuously performance and reliability is key for our engines and our power unit. And I think if I look at the challenge we've got as well today, they are so big, I would say. It's very important, and it's today, but then even looking ahead, because we are going to sustainability, sustainable fuels, and we need a key partner. And I think that in that respect, Shell has always been a fantastic partner for innovation. And it's, as I said, it's a long time we are working. We know each other very well. We are working, as you said, behind the scene very closely in conceiving, developing, designing, and I think it's very important.
Thank you. And Valeria, can you tell us a bit about the support that Shell provides to Scuderia Ferrari on the track side?
Sure. So there are different levels of support. The most visible is our trackside lab. So at every race, we have at least 2 trackside analysts that will be part of the Scuderia Ferrari team for the whole racing weekend. Their task is to analyze fuels and oils during the weekend to make sure that the quality is what is required and that there is no contamination, for example, so that there is no compliance issue with what we have homologated beforehand with FIA. But they are just a part of the full motorsport team. So we have fuel developers, oil developers, and we are constantly striving to provide Scuderia Ferrari with competitive and reliable products year after year. Therefore, we have a bigger pool of scientists, and we invest more than 21,000 man-hours a year into research and development for motorsport, and this is delivered by more than 50 technical staff.
Okay, so there's a lot of effort going into this, but Charles, from like from your point of view, from driver's point of view, do you feel the benefits provided by a Shell V-Power and Shell Helix in the car at the end of the day?
Of course, of course. At the end, Ferrari and Shell are working extremely closely, as it was already mentioned, to try and improve all the time, not only but efficiency, then also the power of the whole car. By example, in 2018, 21% of the performance gained was thanks to Shell. So it's huge, and as a driver, you can definitely feel it. So surely they are helping us to perform better.
Okay. And Valeria, of course, the innovation partnership is extremely important for us because much of the learnings we make on the track are transferred to our road products. Can you tell us how actually that works? How do we transfer these learnings that we have on the racetrack to the road?
Yeah, well, if you think about the racetrack, you can compare that to the ultimate test bed. So we are putting our products, our racing fuels and racing oils under extreme conditions. The forces, the temperatures, the pressure, all is really extraordinary. And whatever we can take in terms of learnings from these kind of experiments, we can then translate into when we develop our fuels and lubricants for our end customers. We have a global teams of scientists, and we work very close across the whole fuels technology group. So Motorsport is just one part of the many teams that are part of R&D Shell. And as an example, I think the best one is really that Shell V-Power racing fuel that Charles is using in his car. It contains 99% of the same types of components that are inside Shell V-Power at the forecourt.
Okay, so we bring the Formula One product into the normal car. That's great. So, Mattia, Formula One returns to Turkey after 10 years. You probably remember racing here in the past. Scuderia Ferrari holds the record for the most race wins at this circuit. How do you feel about returning back to Turkey?
I think it's great. It's really great. As first, I think it's the city itself. Fantastic. I think that the track, fantastic layout, very demanding, challenging, very fast corners, long straights. And as you said, we often win there. And I think it has always been for us fun of being there. I think it was always very nice. And I've got great memories from Turkey. So very excited to be back. I think that at least in 20 season, which has been somewhat very difficult for F1, COVID, etc. It has been great to be back on some tracks where we were racing in the past, and Turkey is one of those. And I think simply being back on those tracks, which are so nice and so exciting, I think it's great.
Excellent. Charles, Mattia, Valeria, thank you very much for joining us today. It was a lovely discussion. We certainly enjoyed it. We hope you did as well. And we wish you all the best during the race. As we heard today, the innovation partnership with Ferrari is extremely vital to us because it allows us to take the learnings from the racetrack and bring it to the road customers through Shell V-Power and Shell Helix Ultra. 70 yıllık inovasyon yolculuğumuzdaki söyleşiye bizimle eşlik ettiğiniz için hepinize çok teşekkürler. Umarım siz de keyif almışsınızdır ve umarım tekrardan böyle bir şansı yakalarız. Brand Week'in geri kalanında hepinize keyifli sohbetler dilerim.